Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Eye Mystic Tarot. Back with another general reading, of course, for my beautiful and handsome collective. How are you all? Hugs and kisses to you. Sending you all love and light, prayers on your spiritual journey. If you're new to your journey, I know it may not seem like, people understand. You are alone. You having to cut a lot of people off. It's different for everybody. All right. Trust me, you are not alone. All right. Your spirit team, your guides, keep them, in rotation. Constantly talk to them. Your angelic angels, your ancestors that are light only that have ascended into heaven. Counsel with them, talk with them. When you're not on the phone, when you're not scrolling on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. When you're not doing that and you got some time, you're bored, whatever, that's your time to talk to them. Let them know. Talk to them, explain to them, open your heart up to them. For those of you that aren't awakened, talk to your spirit team. All right? Leave other people's situations and dilemmas and business, whatever it is, rumors, leave it alone. Because at this point, you don't want to keep building up karmic debt to be, for the universe to have to balance out because of what's coming out your mouth, what's in your heart, and what's on your mind. Your intentions. Don't repeat what you hear other people saying. That's what rumors are. That's what gossip. That's what malicious gossip is. If you're gonna be, fake woke, you know what I'm saying? Stick to them people that's doing that. And most of the time, you don't want to do that. Some fake folks don't want to be around other fake folks. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? But when you're a light worker and you're a light entity and you awaken and you start thinking from your higher self, you're going to be, approached and still, you know what I'm saying? You're going to still be approached by dark, souls, dark entities, dark spirits, you know what I'm saying? Of people, entities, folks going to send them your way, whether they monitoring spirits, whether they family members, monitoring spirits. Okay, whether they seen or unseen. Known or unbeknownst to you. All right. This is a general reading. Any sign could be of significance. This could be past, present, or future energy. I do curse. I cuss. Okay. I use profanity on this channel. And so I do on my other channel as well. Intuitive Tarot. I do cuss on there too. I do use profanity. Just telling you, just giving you a heads up. So if that's not your speed, you don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't get down with that. Understandable. You know what I'm saying? So many other readers just move around till you find one you like. You know what I'm saying? But the message is what it is. To be past, present, or future energies. To be clarity, a validation for others of you, other intuitives, other empaths, you know what I'm saying? Other seers, okay? Don't make something fit that doesn't, all right? But I split the deck on the Tower and the Queen of Cups, so there's a Queen of Cups that's going to be in shock. About what? I don't know, but we're going to look into it. We're going to, dig a little deeper. It's going to be different for everybody. Right behind this Queen of Cups is the Justice in reverse, the Judgment in reverse. And this Queen of Cups could be, there could be a tower with this tower card. This tower could be, something that it could be a good tower, it could be a bad tower. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it's something that could be chaotic. Something could be going on for somebody. It may not be, you know, a shock to you, but it may be. It may be. And you may, as this Queen of Cups, you could be an empath, very sensitive to energy, but you could feel, whatever this is. But yeah, let's see what's going on. Hopefully you all are doing extremely, extraordinarily well, blessed and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? Staying prayed up, not praying on motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. If you have not tried God today, do it now. Okay? Don't try other people. Don't speak other people's names if you don't want to have to deal, with their issues or what issues they have with you, known or unknown. Okay? Don't do it. First card out, taking accountability for this bullshit I caused you, came out in reverse. So this could have been something, that somebody has taken accountability for in the past, the bullshit they caused you, or this is something that, they are still resisting change with, or responsibility, for their actions, accountability for their actions. As you got right behind this tower is, like I said, the Judgment in reverse. The Three of Pentacles. And this tower, in the upright, talks about resisting change, when it comes to the things that they know possibly is going to bring a tower, going down the wrong path, just a series of bad choices that are supposed to align, them to be on the right path, put them on the right path, choosing a different path. But nonetheless, it's tragedy, that's going on, and it could be, like I said, a shock to someone. Something that's going to be a shock, possibly that somebody, is trying to avoid judgment, or they feel, a lot of deep regret and, critical, of themselves about how things turned out. Like just now realizing, their efforts, making a focused effort. Especially if they know something was their fault. Like the card says, but I feel like this person, taking accountability for the bullshit they caused you, that could be something that they, was resisting at one time, or maybe not taking accountability for it because they felt like, maybe they felt like their bullshit was justified. Maybe they felt like some of the things that their behavior or things like that, was justified. Anything else? You got North Node. Could be in your North Node. Someone could be in a North Node. Next card, Power of Love by Luther Vandross. I don't own the copyrights to this, but this song, the message in this song could be of significance. So if you can find the lyrics to this song, listen to it in its entirety. Listen to the lyrics. The message is in the song, okay? Whether you listen to Luther Vandross, somebody, the message in the song is significant, okay? But love heals a lot of things. True love heals a lot of things. People that, say they love, and some people take people love for granted and feel like, they can be as whole, you know what I'm saying? They can be a tyrant, or unfair to you, and because you love them so much that they get a pass. No. Shit, you could love somebody enough to leave their ass the fuck alone. Like, love, you know what I'm saying? Like, they be asking me, I'm that you love to hate. That kind of love. Like, shit, as long as you love enough to leave people alone, let them go, let them grow, you know what I'm saying? So that they can, because this life, if people had all the answers, if we had all the answers, we wouldn't need to come to any planet to get any kind of information, to remember any instruction, you know what I'm saying, given to us in the ethers to come here and, whatever our assignment is, to come here and carry out, get the lesson, get the experience so we can get the lesson. And folks, I heard a guy yesterday say this, child, that's how you know some folks that, be wanting to be part of that woke community. You know what I'm saying? That woke group, them chosen ones. Man, I think he said, rest in peace to women's intuition. Like, intuition is assigned to certain genders of people. It's not. Intuition, when you look it up, it ain't under damn goddamn man or woman, kind of definition. It's a word. It's a you know what I'm saying? It's a duty, a gift, and it's a gift bestowed unto us in like discernment, and it's only useful to us depending on how we use it, if we ever use it. Like common sense. Just because they say it's common don't mean everybody got it. Just because it's intuition don't mean everybody got it. Just because it's discernment don't mean everybody got it. Everybody don't get the same thing for Christmas. Everybody got different requests, different desires, different wants and needs. But the gifts you have is meant to, get done what you need to get done on your path. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, if, a woman has so much intuition, if they ever had that, they would make the right choice the first time. They wouldn't have to go through all these mishaps and mistakes and being with the wrong person and stuff like that. That's doesn't work like that. When you're a psychic, if you are a seer, a medium, if you using intuition and discernment, it doesn't work like that. Okay? Even magicians, when they doing magic shows, they have to practice. They art, they gift, they have to perfect that. You know what I'm saying? And tweak anything, that is a loose end, tied up, get it, you know what I'm saying? Anything that could go wrong, correct it. Go ahead and fix it now. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, they would make the right choice the first time. Dude, one thing, the Most High God and Mother God and our spirit team and our ancestors, one thing you need to know, and I'm going to tell my collective, whether if you ain't with it, if you don't get it, whatever, it ain't going to be for everybody, but I'm going to give it to you the way it is. Intuition, discernment, you don't get to be exempt from having the experiences others have to get the answer, to get the lesson. We have to go through earth angels. We have to go through chosen ones. You have to go through, and you will go through, because in that scroll on the other side in the ethers, when we were in bliss in the the presence of the Most High God, and we were in bliss. We were in bliss. Okay. We are in bliss when we are in his presence. He is one with us. And for those, when they wake up, they'll feel that too. They'll feel that love. They'll feel that connection too. But until then, they'll be running rampant, confused, and confusing everybody else because it's all coming, at one time. And for some people, as a dark entity, a dark soul, dark heart, they are the lesson. You know what I'm saying? They are going to be the principalities that you're fighting against, but you have to go through the experiences. And we decided we would go through certain situations in our life at some point to get the lesson. And we imagine sitting with the Most High God, sitting with our Heavenly Father and saying, hey, I'm going to go through this. I'll take on this life path and clear out, what my ancestors struggled with, where they left off, clear that up. And I'm going to go through some of them situations that they went through, make better choices in them so that, my kids won't have to, be left doing this because I didn't get it right either. Okay? And I'm going to go through this. I'm going to make it through. It's going to be hard, but, I'm going to make it through. I got it. And for this lesson, I'm going to go through this. I'll probably get locked up. I'm going to get out. Maybe slip, maybe backpedal one time, but, I'll get it, get it together. But you got to be born, you got to come here, you got to go through the emotions. And coming through that womb, everybody's different, whether it's C-section, whether it's vaginal, whatever. You get here, you're a kid, you're a baby, a toddler, you forget that stuff. You forgot what you said. But it's important that you awaken and remember what your purpose is. Remember what your scroll consisted of, your life path, what you say you would take on. And your ancestors are supporting you. They stood 10 toes down with you in the ethers and said, okay, we got you. Anything you need from us, just call us, let us know. Boom, you here. Okay? If we had all the answers, we would not need to come here and gain any damn knowledge of nothing, remember a damn thing. Okay? Wouldn't need to come here. Wouldn't need to go to any planet and gain any knowledge, because we would just come here with the answers and the world would be as we know it. Everybody in this piece would be making the right decisions the first time, if that was the case. But it's not. And if you're a seer, you're a psych, you got to go through the life that you said you would go through and get the lesson. You don't get exempt. You don't get to get a cheat sheet. You don't get to bypass experiences other people go through in situations and stuff like that. Whether you go through it, experience it, with people close to you, the hurt, the loss, the pain, whatever, the excitement, whatever. You got to go through it just like everybody else. You're not going to get a chance to be exempt. Jesus didn't. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? There was people after him for what he said, what he came here to do. They were told, his mother was told what he was coming, to be born to do. But do we all raise our sons to pass away? Do we all raise our daughters to pass away? No. But if the Most High God told you that you having that child meant that they would, due to this or that, you could stay up all night trying to figure out how to prevent it. But if that's in the chart, that's the exit. That's the moment that was going to happen. If it happens before then there'll be serious consequences, but they'll be able to start again. You know what I mean? But intuition and discernment don't work like that. You're going to make the right choice the first time, you wouldn't need to come here. Everybody here on this planet would be making the right choice the first time. Right out the womb. The minute they know and got the ability to make decisions for themselves, they would just be making good decisions right off the bat. But that's not how that goes. People think folks that, give them a little insight, whether it's a reading, whether it's just spiritual mentoring or something like that, they have had to go through things. They have to. That's part of it. That's how they get the lesson. They don't get to talk about alcoholics without taking a sip of liquor or experiencing what it's like because you got a parent that did, or a relative, or a lover that did. You don't get to, you know what I'm saying? Like, God needs you to know what it's like. And if he can, take an alcoholic from here to there, in a month's time or 10 years tops, they here, Could have been sooner, but gotta go through life. Life be lifing the fuck out of folks. And intuition ain't in discernment and stuff. It's not like that. You make that decision, you make that right choice. It's not gonna correct the whole world right then. It's a collective effort. But as long as you doing your part and everybody doing their part, no matter where they at on this earthly plane, it will show. You will feel it in the atmosphere. You will feel it in your vibration. You will feel it. Frequency vibration is real. And for those that ain't awakened and ain't true to themselves, they don't know what the fuck people be talking about. They just gaining knowledge by what is being said, and that's fine. But don't shoot somebody down for what they know because you didn't say it first. Don't make no sense. Like, don't do that. It's just setting you back from what it is you're supposed to be working on. Work on you. Everybody don't work on 18-wheelers. So how are we going to sit here and talk about, what mechanics got going on and what they could have done, to a truck or, a part or something like that when we don't even know what the fuck we talking about? Some girl going to say, y'all take people with you, that know about cars, because this man going to tell me that I need a Cadillac converter on my car. On her truck. And she was like, I don't even drive a Cadillac. I'm like, you sure right. You damn sure right. You do need to take somebody with you when you're going to get your car worked on, because that was just, Lord. I'm like, girl, it's a catalytic converter. It's not even spelt like Cadillac. And you don't need a, child, it was just so goddamn small. I'm talking about, she was on it. She was there. She knew what she was talking about. The man was going to cheat her out. True enough, you do need to know about your car, but you need a catalytic converter. What the hell you think all that loud ass noise is? He gonna tell me I need a catalytic converter. These people want you to pay money for something like you stupid, like like you don't know what's going on. You just explain what's going on with you by saying what ain't going on with you. Is exactly what's going on with you. Because you don't need no damn Cadillac, because that ain't what he said. It's a catalytic converter. Look it up. It ain't spelled the same way. And what he telling you need, if he explained it to you, if you knew, or if somebody told you beforehand, you would know what you were talking about. But she didn't. So I digress. But yeah, love changes a lot of things. But definitely listen to that song in its entirety, collective. Next card. Researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you. Listen. This is, yeah. This is somebody that they in a north node now, but they are maybe new on their journey. And somebody, like I said, it could be shocked. It could be a tower, here because of what this person is discovering. They could be going through a dark night of the soul, but they could be resisting change, or somebody that they with is resisting change and refusing, to see something, like face facts, you know what I'm saying, about what's going on or why something is happening. But somebody's in a north node. You got the power of love, and you got somebody researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you. Whether they believe in rituals and spells, because spells are words, and that's why incantations and stuff like that, and your intentions behind, spell work and stuff like that, when you're doing it on yourself or other people, the intentions, which your heart possesses, which your heart holds about what you're really doing this for, and what the outcome, that you want is, it matters. And most practitioners, most white witches, they'll tell you that if you're going to do some type of spell work or ritual on somebody, do this, some type of grudge or vengeful nature or something like that, be prepared for the consequences. Because if that person is not aware of what you got going on or how you feel about them or what it is you got against them, it is going to return, and it's going to return much stronger and much chaotic. What you wanted for them, it is going to go, the return to sender from their ancestors to yours is going to be through the fucking roof. Okay? So it's like knocking on the wrong door, about your mail, and something go horribly wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because you falsely accusing somebody, especially with no receipts. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, try God. Stop trying people. Ask God, talk to God, ask your spirit team to show you some clarity if that person is of a threat. If that person is of a threat to you due to some insecurities, work on yourself. That's not their fault that you think about them. It's not your fault. It's not their fault that comparing yourself to them or got something about them that you dislike or don't agree with. Talk to your spirit team. Focus on what, is more important in your life, where the improvement can be. So you won't have to speak on somebody else's, purpose or whatever their talent is. Whatever it is they enjoy doing. Whatever it is they doing. Okay? But they looking more into it and doing their research on it to see, how people say, I'm going to give you 5 signs of how something is on you. I'm going to give you 5 signs of how you know this person, how you know this or that is going on. And I'm going to tell you what type of person does this or who you need to be mindful of that is doing this. They may be somebody like this. They may be somebody like that. They may be this to you. They may be that to you. You may have done this or you did that and they did this. And that's why this is going on. If these 5 things is going on, it's like that. And they doing their research. They want to keep this person away from them and you. Somebody could be wanting to return. They could be, looking at how something may not have been their fault because they did not know maybe, how this stuff worked, man or woman. And they could be shocked. This Queen of Cups could be shocked, whether it's a man or woman, because it's energy, you know what I'm saying? And they could be in their feminine energy, could be a masculine in their feminine energy, you know what I'm saying? But Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, it's just the fact that this person could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius also, I'm getting. But they could be somebody that feels some type of way now because they are regretful, that they didn't know sooner, or that they, when you in your south node and you enter into your north node and you awaken, the things that you are reminded of that you are shown in your dream state, or you end up, having thoughts and memories, flashbacks of, certain occasions, certain conversations with people, whether that was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 months ago, 5 hours ago. All that stuff come, up and come to mind at the, when you least expect it. And you'll find yourself analyzing the moments, observing the moments in your head, reflecting back on them for no reason. They just pop up. And you look at them differently now that you done been away from that person or that situation or that area in your life for so long. Now you looking back at it like, damn, man, that's crazy. Like, I was that person 5 years ago. I was that person 7 years ago. That was me. Wow, like that. But be kind to yourself when you are reflecting, because when it comes time for judgment on the other side in the ethers, you're going to have that flashback going through that tunnel. You know what I'm saying? When you crossing over to the other side, you're going to be shown all them things. Them near-death experiences, they show you a lot of things. Outside of yourself, you get to look at them things and you get to decide whether you want to come back and, fulfill the obligation you came here to, do, or you want to just stay on the other side and, let that pass, allow yourself to start over and just pass away and, end what you got going here and just start anew. You know what I'm saying? And some people choose to come back. And some people are manifested back when they're going through moments like that. And people are praying hard and they, their energy is, thick, in the spirit realm, with sadness, and they feel the need. Some of us, in near-death experiences are compelled. We feel like we don't want to leave people sad and mourning and stuff like that, and we feel like, it's easy on the other side because you get to take that break and you don't have to worry no more. You don't have to be in pain. You don't have to be confused. You don't have to be, back in this chaos. But they like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Or you can decide to stay. But like I said, they researching whatever these spells and rituals is to keep this person away from them and you. And that's really just about keeping your vibration high, learning how to clear out your energy, how to set, boundaries for yourself and others, you know what I'm saying, and knowing your self-discipline, your self-control, you know what I'm saying, in moments where you think you are, and not knowing, just what somebody else got going on and what they're capable of, because they can't control you. When you got a lot of self-control and self-discipline in this day and time, even the government is, on the edge about that. That's why you see so much propaganda and you see so many, race baiting, moments and stuff like that, because they want to throw you off your square, throw you off balance, and keep you always pissed off and in fear. Never in love. Keep as much love out of the equation as we possibly can. That's why a lot of 2025 movies and stuff you'll see on Netflix, when they supposedly had a writer's strike, just flood Netflix and other apps. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, y'all had time to make all these new movies that's talking about what we're going through now during a writer's strike? Really? But it's meant to keep you, focused on things that are going to keep you in fear. They're going to keep you pissed off. They're going to keep you from taking time to talk to God, taking time to, comfort others, do nice things, you know what I'm saying? Be kind to yourself, but also protective and stand up for yourself, you know what I'm saying? And that's what this person is trying, so hard to do. This is what they're working on doing. So for some of you, you got a person that want to come back around, but for the most part, this person is doing their research. They could be talking to a spiritual, mentor or something like that, getting spiritual guidance. They could be doing, their own introspection, when it comes to their shadow work and them, talking to somebody, looking things up, researching, okay? They may have searched at one time, but now they having to research for things that they missed. Like knowing about voodoo, but you don't really know how it works. You just heard about it. You may have heard people explain a few things, but don't know how it works when it's, dealing with you. And just because you know about how something works doesn't mean you into it. Just means you are aware. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Give me one more. So whoever this person is doing this to protect you from, you and them from, could be somebody that is not taking responsibility for the bullshit that they cause this person or that they cause you. Or you may have felt like this person wasn't taking accountability for the bullshit they caused. But I feel like it got a lot to do with your person protecting themselves and you from somebody that they didn't know was this pressed or this bothered by you and them. Next card, let's talk over dinner and drinks. So you can have dinner, you may not want to drink. You may not drink, okay? So take it how it resonates. Just because the card say dinner and drinks don't mean you are a drinker. Don't mean that you have to do that. You can decide, on something else, but they may That's how you'll know. That's one way you'll know who this person is. They may want to, communicate with you that way, and you know, want to sit down and have a talk with you over dinner and drinks. Maybe they need it, but let it flow. Whatever it is, use your discernment, your intuition, of course. But give me one more. Let's talk over dinner and drinks. And I feel like it's something that this person knows that they're a little ashamed of, that they didn't look at something like that before. Man or woman. Because when you go get a reading or you go ask somebody like, hey, I want to see if it's a hex. I mean, you got some people that'll tell you at home how to, figure that out and look at, get that answer. But you got to say yes. And they wanted to come out in reverse, so you could want to say yes, and you could say no, and really wanting to say yes, but take it how it resonates. But let's see what's going on. But yeah, that's a 10 of cups that's gonna be in shock. Let's start with taking accountability. Clarify taking accountability for the bullshit I caused you. Why is it in reverse? Taking accountability for the bullshit I caused you. Who is this? Why is it in reverse? Why is taking accountability for the bullshit I caused you in reverse? That's too many, child. Taking accountability for the bullshit I caused you. Clarify why it's in reverse. Taking accountability for the bullshit I caused you. Got the Ace of Cups with the Hangman at the bottom of the deck in reverse. You got the Seven of Swords in reverse. The Page of Swords. Okay. With this Ace of Cups, you got somebody that wants, they could be having an emotional awakening, emotional growth and awakening, but it's also, talking about, an overflow of emotions. You know what I'm saying? But it's also talking about a new opportunity in love. You know what I'm saying? Whether, this person is getting another shot at it, you want another shot at it. But it's giving that opportunity, for something new to come from something that is newly discovered, or highly improved. You know what I'm saying? And upgraded. Especially for somebody that at one time, maybe was confused or, not believing, a such moment or person existed that they would feel this way about. Okay? But like I said, you got the Hangman at the bottom of the deck, when it's in the upright, it's about you, being going towards your higher self, you know what I'm saying, being divinely, on your path, you know what I'm saying, and looking like things are, looking at things in a spiritual way, when it comes to your balance, when it comes to thinking from your higher self and making better decisions, turning over a new leaf, you know what I'm saying, looking at something in a different light than you did one time. And this person may have been, caught up in being one-sided about things and using their own um, way of distinguishing, how they see something. You know what I'm saying? Instead of looking at it on a spiritual level. Um, but they may have, some confessions, and um, acceptance and taking some accountability. You know what I'm saying? And confessing something to you that, could be revealing some truth, with the Seven of Swords in reverse, Page of Swords, so they definitely, feeling some type of path being restored. You know what I'm saying? They could be questioning, having, new ideas right now, like how to communicate, how, they need to look at healthier communication, um, how to speak up, use their throat chakra, and not use past behavior, in other situations as a way to resolve things moving forward. Okay? But clarify the Ace of Cups. Got the Two of Pentacles. With the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. You just say that's the truth. Like, but you're getting clarity and somebody's making a decision after gaining some type of truth and clarity now with the Ace of Swords. But they juggling, you know what I'm saying? Balancing out their priorities, making necessary changes, and looking at how they need it, to be balanced, you know what I'm saying? And make a decision. Finding that structure, you know what I'm saying? Time management. But they also, could be looking at how to stay on top of whatever it is that they financially, and who and what they give their energy to. Because I feel like this person was juggling. They may not have known, just how draining being with somebody that was doing what they were doing with this spell work or rituals. They may not have known just how draining that time in their life, they were. Like somebody was drained. They were being drained. Like, I don't know if they were dealing with an energy vampire, but it's like somebody, was constantly pulling on this person's south node, like keeping them, distracted by things that they needed to walk away from, behaviors, lifestyles, beliefs that they needed, to put behind them. It wasn't beneficial. It wasn't necessary. It's just the fact that somebody wanted to keep them stuck in the past doing things. And you know how some folks like, man, it's, that stuff was a thing of the past. Like some folks want to return and they feel like them days, back in that time was a lot easier. But they had issues. We just done forgot about what they were. You know what I'm saying? Because we've evolved and other things have distracted us from thinking about the moment back then. We had some good memories, back in the days, late 80s and stuff like that, early 90s. But, do some of us want to go back to that time? Probably so. But there was issues back then that, may not be as layered as they is now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But they juggling. You know what I'm saying? They could have juggled you, whether it was between money and finances and things like that. Maybe they juggling streams of income or, what direction to go in, but they prioritizing. Balancing things out, making a decision. But you got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, Queen of Cups, and the Ten of Cups in reverse. Somebody getting some clarity or got some clarity and truth with this Ace of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. About an empath, and I feel like somebody now is, possibly looking at how, there's a loss or there's, some delays or the fact that they're going to have to wait for a moment of opportunity to come back around to them, and they just going to have to stay, focused on what they need to do, in order for things to be restored. Researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you. Clarify. Who is this researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you? Researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you. Clarify. Researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you. Researching spells and rituals. Clarify. Researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you. Who is this researching these spells and rituals? Why are you researching spells and rituals to get her away from me and you? You got the Fool in reverse with the King of Cups. Somebody is being, I wouldn't say naive, but I feel like somebody wanted, like I said, they want to keep somebody stuck in the past and make them feel as though they not going anywhere, or if I, let that person go, they'll be back, or being afraid, you know what I'm saying, of the unknown, not knowing what to expect. And this person, may have, thought that going on this journey, taking this leap of faith, or accepting your offer, or not giving you an offer then, was them protecting themselves, from what they didn't know or what they didn't see at the time, because they didn't have that faith at the time to, to see something through, to trust the process. And I feel like whoever they were involved with at the time may have, put a lot of things out there to kind of make them feel as though it would be a loss. You know what I'm saying? Like something was not going to be what they thought it would be. And you will see that. It's like somebody trying to convince another person that they don't need to go on that path. They don't need to be with you. They don't need to do what you're doing. They don't need to, go that route. They can just do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? If that, like somebody telling somebody if they love you, they'll, you know what I'm saying? If it's meant to be, they'll come back. No. If somebody is meant to be in your life and they doing the work, they might. They just might come back. The impossible can definitely be possible. But if somebody is meant to come back and they not doing shit over there since you walked away from them, or they walked away from you and they not working on themselves, they ain't coming back no time soon. Because as long as they picking up trash over there in their neighborhood, and the stores staying open 24 hours over there, they ain't gonna have no reason to come back towards you. They got what they feel like, where they at is working for them. Clarify the Fool in reverse. Like somebody was afraid of taking a leap of faith, the unknown. Started a new path, you know what I'm saying? And it was like somebody didn't want another person to do it because they, like I said, misery loves company. Clarify the Fool in reverse. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius with this Fool right here in reverse. But somebody was definitely, this was like when somebody was in their south node. And it's like whatever these spells and rituals were, they may have worked on that person because they were already, in fear, or already second guessing themselves, dealing with some insecurities, and not wanting to take accountability. Maybe they, were being arrogant, and had a big ego. You know what I'm saying? But what's the Fool in reverse? Somebody just caught somebody at a time when their vibration was low. So whatever they were doing may have been effective. Clarify the Fool in reverse. Researching spells and rituals to get out away from you. What's the Fool in reverse? What's the Fool in reverse? You got the Page of Swords in reverse now. Somebody making up shit now. And I feel like this is why somebody, was afraid. Like I said, I'm telling you what it is for it. the card even came out. Like somebody was spread, spreading it on thick, with that gossip and shit. You know what I'm saying? Slander, malicious gossip, like making up shit, creating scenarios that ain't even happened. Giving them certain scenarios that they more in fear of happening with them and this person than actually happening for them with somebody else. It's giving them a bad situation back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like a downpour of lies and um unresearchable things, you know what I'm saying, telling them something that they, it feels like it's over their head. And this person done spoke a lot of spell work over this person and they ability to move forward and say and do and be who they need to be. It's like somebody done use that they words to their advantage. Got the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck, Queen of Pentacles. Could be a very attractive, handsome man, woman. But it's, giving like somebody, that's taking responsibility, you know what I'm saying, with this King of Wands. Like somebody taking responsibility for, what they doing in life, you know what I'm saying? And it could have been them, like I said, it could have been the fact that somebody, wanted another person around, didn't want to see another person with somebody else, just based on the fact that they felt like, this person was more you know what I'm saying, like they had more use of this person than you would. It's like somebody wanted to drain another person. They wanted to make this person miss an opportunity, by way of them listening to them and being able to be like being controlled by them. Because this Page of Swords is somebody very immature. This could be somebody younger than you, or younger than your person, or something like that. But it's like somebody was constantly, saying things to like perpetuate, you know what I'm saying, whatever they had, their intentions were. And it's like they spoke negative stuff over this person constantly. Constantly. Like if you got a friend, or this person got a friend of me, or a cut buddy, or an ex that they go back to, or something like that, or somebody they got with, but it's given that somebody says a lot of things that are not true, made up a lot of shit, but that's the spell work. That's part of the rituals and stuff that this person did to kind of keep this person from going toward their divine calling. You know what I'm saying? They purpose. And that's what dark entities, that's what karmics will do. They sometime, or, I ain't gonna say sometime, when you're in a karmic cycle, whether you the karmic and you both karmics, or whatever the case may be, in most cases, that person it's a lesson to learn with that person. That's why you're going through what you're going through with that person. They are a lesson. And sometimes we get attached to them people, have feelings for them, but it doesn't change who they are. They have to do that. We're just there to trigger those memories and show them, another side of them, or show them things about them that they just refuse to work on. That's why every time they get with somebody else, it's still going to be the same issue with that person too. At some point, whether a year go by, an hour go by, 10 months go by, either way, they're going to end up having some type of issue with the next person. May not be the same issue, but it's going to require them to make some changes. And it's going to keep being that way until they do. And they can keep blaming it on the other person, for saying, that person toxic. They bring out the worst in me. You couldn't have said it better. They are designed to bring the worst out of you, for you to deal with that. And trust the person that's triggering you to bring it out of you. Trust that person enough, and trust yourself enough to think from your higher self. And how do I conquer that old version of myself, and say that I am in control, I am self-disciplined, I am stronger than this person in front of me think I am. Mentally, spiritually, physically. You can go to the gym and work out all day long and be, very weak to spiritual work. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't putting in spiritual work, you're going to be, swept off your damn feet by some, some spells and rituals before you realize, you've been subjected to that shit. Because you was being naive, you know what I'm saying? being uninformed. Just because you ain't into voodoo don't mean you don't need to know how it works. Because if you need to clear something out your energy, guess what? You're gonna have to go get something done. And that means you're gonna have to come out your pocket. Whether you're doing it yourself or you paying somebody else to help you clear it out. Now clear it up. Okay? Because if somebody got a demonic attachment on them and you up here having sex with them, child, and then, I'm just trying to get pregnant by that person. Now you got a baby with the same person that you done, that got a demonic attachment on. Now you got to deal with, cleansing your energy in a safe way where you don't harm your child and stuff like that, and get out of that cycle. And people like, I ain't trying to have all these different baby daddies. Well, them karmic cycles that you was in, they needed to be, experienced. Nobody told you to get into it unprotected, condom or spiritually. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to prevent that. But clarify this page of source. Somebody's spreading a lot of malicious gossip, like making up shit. This is why this person is researching, how to free themselves of this. And it's really just, like I said, about keeping this person, their vibration high. You know what I'm saying? And be aware, look into how these things can be reversed, doing return to senders, clearing out your energy, putting motherfuckers in jars if you got to, and stuff like that. But with intentions of, keeping this person at a distance, keeping them, away. Because a lot of this stuff is, basically return to sender. Cord cutting. What's the page of swords in reverse with the fool in reverse? What's the page of swords in reverse with the fool in reverse? You got the Queen of Cups in reverse. The Hangman at the bottom of the deck in reverse again. So yeah, you're somebody that, is resisting spiritual influence, but they also, not somebody that is very caring, very caring, kind, or compassionate in any damn way. This person they lack empathy and some more shit. Lack thereof, like folks said. This could be a brother, not a brother, this could be a sister, a wife, a mother. Baby mama, you know what I'm saying? A close friend or something like that, a homegirl. Somebody, a dude, this could be, like I said, this could be his homegirl, this could be, a mother figure or something like that that's doing this research. Or this is somebody, past person, that is dealing with this, and they could be dealing with this, dealing with, ex-wife, or wife, or, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they could be in some type of entanglement, some friends with benefits or whatever the case may be, but it's giving, them being somebody that lacks empathy. This is somebody that, their heart chakra is closed. So they really don't too much put a whole lot of, thoughtfulness into the things they're doing unless it benefits them. And however they got to get that done, that's what they do. So it's not about, who all going to be hurt. It's about the outcome that they looking for. Clarify, say yes. What do they want the collective to say yes to? Clarify, say yes. What do they want you to say yes about? Could be an offer. 4 cups. I seen the 4 cups. What do they want you to say yes about? What do they want you the collective to say yes about? Got the Knight of Cups. Knight of Pentacles in reverse with the Strength in reverse. Say yes, like I said, they wanted to come out in reverse, so I kept it in reverse. But this could be somebody that, knows that they may have, this is somebody that's very, in the upright, the the King of Pentacles, is somebody that, is got a little wealth, and things like that, but they could be experiencing, some delays. It could be having to wait on some things to pick back up for them, but they could be looking at how sad something, is right now when it comes to how, they're going through what they're going through, like what's going on for them. Because I feel like, man or woman, somebody want a Knight of Pentacles, to I feel like give to them like they used to. Because I feel like at some point somebody was, had a little money, or when they did, it may have, been something that somebody, wanted to have for themselves. Like they may have never had nobody really spend on them and do things for them, buy them things. Or that may be their forte is finessing, you know what I'm saying? A Knight of Pentacles, as much as they can, or a Knight of Pentacles, was somebody that, you know, got deep pockets or whatever, got a lot of, get a lot of recognition, maybe for what they do. They could be a businessman, businesswoman, don't have to be, but like I said, if that person, at one time, was leaning on that and using that as a way to, if that was what brought people in and drew people in, like it didn't work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you may be somebody that's not materialistic, like that. But in reverse, this is like somebody that is, dealing with a loss. It could have like some business, situations that may not be doing their best. It could be them working with somebody, that, may have partnered with them in something, when it came money making and stuff like that, money moves, but somebody can't, move forward with something, right now because of maybe the pentacles. Especially if they having to wait for something, to pan out, waiting for something to balance out with the Two of Pentacles. And they could be, procrastinating and holding back. Because they may feel like you're not going to say yes because of, the amount of time it may have taken them, to come around or get to the, the root of what's going on. Got the Strength in reverse at the bottom of the deck with the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. How about this Knight of Pentacles in reverse? Got the Three of Swords in reverse. And this person could, be saying no, or they feel like you're going to say no, or they saying no to somebody saying no. And it could be, over a heartbreak. It could be over a separation that they're not dealing with too well. Especially if they know they have to, face whatever part they played in something, possibly, turning out the way it did. What's the Knight of Pentacles in reverse? The Three of Swords in reverse. Say about the Knight of Swords in reverse. The Knight of Pentacles. Stop. What's the Knight of Pentacles in reverse? With the Three of Swords in reverse. What's the Knight of Pentacles in reverse with the Three of Swords in reverse? Yeah, It's the Knight of Swords, like I said. Like somebody, know they can't come in being passive either. Like this is somebody that could be, like I said, they holding back, or somebody knows that they, whatever lifestyle or whatever somebody provided or something like that, or whatever they would, trying to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? Because in the upright, the Knight of Swords talks about, ambition, determination, and stuff like that, going towards something, with a lot of focus, a lot of determination. But in reverse, it's like somebody that knows that they can't, whether they're aggressively, argumentative or something like that. In the upright, in the reverse, it's like somebody that knows that that's not going to be able to get them anywhere, the way it used to. Like whatever aggressively they were going after a certain lifestyle, or being argumentative about, back and forth about, what kind of lifestyle, they want for themselves, or like whatever their goal to drive is, being aggressively going after that. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, knows that they, yeah, especially if they were focused on that, or that's what they was all about, or they thinking, it was all about. It's like now somebody knows that they can't, and them not, um, it's like somebody wanting to come back around, but they don't have a lot of determination because, they maybe feel like they're going to get reminded of, the shit that they may have caused, when it comes to this bullshit that they didn't want to take accountability for at one time. And it's like now somebody, is kind of looking at how if they didn't come back around then, or now it's, the mindset that they were in of, I don't want to hear, I know I'm going to have to hear about the shit I was more invested in, because at a time, when I felt like, that was more important. Like, how somebody come back around and they like telling you what's going on, or they don't, and it's like the only reason why they not, because they don't want to hear you say I told you, or no, you were so focused on this and focused on that, you thought it was all about this. I ain't like the rest of them. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that because they know that is going to, be your whole reason behind no, I told you. It's like that. Whether this is you saying this no, but it's like somebody, they want you to say yes, but they know deep down, it may be a no. It may be a no. The card on top of the makeshift deck, struggling with the words to say to you now. What's the outcome of this situation? What's the outcome? What's the outcome in this situation moving forward? You got the Eight of Pentacles with the Ten of Pentacles, both in reverse, with the Five of Cups and the Queen of Swords in reverse, with the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Somebody could feel like, they not where they need to be at right now, financially. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. With this Eight of Pentacles in reverse, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Like somebody could be dealing with, an unstable foundation. They could be having some family dispute, instability, when it comes to a home, or how, they foundation is right now. They could be dealing with some insecurities about their finances. And Ten of Pentacles in reverse also gives me like somebody having a home and things like that, but they don't feel complete. Like they feel like something is missing. Like um because I feel like possibly this person didn't have like all the right answers at the right time, but I feel like they feel like it's an underachievement with this Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Like somebody still like they feel like it's like somebody feel as though like they don't have that, they ain't where they need to be. Like somebody lacks that confidence and things like that to be in something stable, or they feel like they don't have what they need to, they not where they need to be at financially. It's like they in a state of lack, like they haven't put in the work. Especially to get this Ten of Pentacles, because by being in reverse, it's like giving me somebody that is going through what they going through, because I feel like it's karma. Of course, you got the Five of Cups out here, and like I said, the Queen of Swords. So like now somebody, they could be crying over spilled milk, but it's like, getting over, they could be grieving a loss. Um, yeah, somebody grieving a loss now that they feel as though like a Queen of Cups is in reverse about them now, or this is over, a loss, because they of a Queen of Cups in reverse. Is this Queen of Cups in reverse the collective or the past person? Is this Queen of Cups the collective or the past person's person? Upright is reverse now. Yeah. This person, whoever this is moving forward, they, could be upset over this loss. Um, or not, something not working out, because they feel like, this is a missed opportunity because um of them not having boundaries, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, or dealing with somebody that didn't have boundaries. They had no limits, you know what I'm saying? Like this somebody, but this Queen of Swords in reverse, clarified by this Queen of Pentacles and this Knight of Wands. It's like somebody sees you as somebody, that's um you could be a homemaker, you could be, a multitask. You could wear many hats. You could work from home. You could work, two different, whatever it is you get into or do, it brings you wealth. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what it is. Um, but you could work outside the home. You could work strictly at home. You could be a homemaker. You know what I'm saying? You could be a wife that work. You know what I'm saying? That's a homemaker. You know what I'm saying? Could be an introvert as well. But it's giving like somebody, they coming off as somebody that is a protector and things like that, like protecting whatever it is that brings you joy, brings you peace. You know what I'm saying, and things like that. So yeah, and that's different from this person that they was dealing with. Somebody was dealing with somebody that was more, behind the scenes and trying to manipulate, free will, to get the outcome. Whereas there's a Queen of Pentacles, that doesn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and they feel like you may reject them anyway because of them, not seeing something sooner or going the route they went, without trusting the process. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they was afraid of taking this leap of faith and not knowing what to expect or how something would turn out if they did come towards you to go on this journey with you, to join you, or whatever the case may be. Especially if they feel like they lack, the spiritual growth and, what I'm saying, awareness for them to do that. And now, they could be dealing with the fact that they having some family issues. They could be in some financial, debt, or, conflict now, having them delays and things like that. Just an unstable foundation right now. Like, it's no stability where they at right now, or they wasn't at that time. You know what I'm saying? And they may have been caught up in their finances, being a certain way when you walked away, or when they walked away, or however something ended. But they see you to be somebody, you're a healer. You know what I'm saying? You're a healer. Be an empath as well. But moving forward, this person, could be dealing with some things that they know is not going to be in their favor. That's just how they feel. But you got the Ace of Cups out here with the Two of Pentacles. So there's a new love, opportunity. There's new, discovered emotions that, a lover, has had, or, has experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may not have known what true love, and lust, really was like until they were confronted, with the two. And I remember, it's coming back to me, someone saying at one time, I want to say it was yesterday, earlier this morning, that somebody could want and manifest something, for themselves all the way down to the letter. But then when they get that person and they present it with that person, it may take them months, it may take them years to realize this is the person they manifested. But not only that, your manifestation may come in years later, because you are fearing and you second guessing getting that kind of person. The minute you do that, it sets your manifestation back even further. So that's why some people end up meeting a person or coming across that person at a time where they're in a karmic cycle with somebody else, or they still a karmic, because they are second guessing themselves too. And the person that they, hoping for, or, got in the back of their mind, is in the back of their mind, and it's going to be taking them longer to get to that person, because it's in the back of their mind. They kind of second guessing. And you need to keep your mind and thoughts positive. You know what I'm saying? Speak positive things over your life. The minute you start to think, it may not happen for you because you got this, I don't have that, so ain't nobody going to want me. Boom, you can set the manifestation back even further. How much further? Who knows? But it's going to be a time that it's going to make you so uncomfortable with waiting that you're going to forget all about the manifestation altogether, and boom, here comes the person. And by then, you may have already turned bitter. You may have already, got disgusted. You may have already decided you're going to stay by yourself. You may have already decided, I'm not going to take anybody from my past back, regardless, even if it's a past person that has done the work and they're coming back around and they prepared now. They have ascended. You know, especially if you in some type of contract with them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Divine contract at that. But I'm gonna end it here, collective. You guys make sure you do something nice for someone today, even if you don't know them. Know that I love you genuinely. For those of you that genuinely love me, hit that like, that subscribe button for me on your way out. Until next time, I love you. Bye.